Hey, random weirdos! We're back again for another Pagan Hour live stream. This time I have a special guest. He is Rogue Wolf. He's one of my good friends. He's like a brother to me. And he is here to have fun and interact with everyone else here. And then, as you all know, Lady Ravenwood. And then we have Gray the Grim as well. Um, so we're just gonna have a fun, chill night. We're gonna have free live tarot readings for myself. So you can always pop in the comments and say, "Hey, you want a reading?" And I'll get you done.
Hmm.
So how has everyone been today?
I've been doing okay. I mean, I'm kind of dealing with the fact that I'm running out of medicine, but like that's happened plenty of times before.
Yeah. And
Eh,
hopefully soon you'll get more.
yeah, I'm okay.
I've been generally avoiding TikTok, so I'm also pretty okay on that too.
I've been kind of avoiding it too. Besides posting today saying that we're going live and all.
Yeah, I
Um,
just honestly right now I really want to speak in anger to the foolish children on that app right now. And I don't want to though. Like I know I want to, but I also don't want to because I know it's not going to help anything at this point. They were going to do whatever they were going to do, and nothing I say is going to be anything besides "and I told you so."
yeah.
To be quite honest, I'm tired of saying "I told you so," so I'm just not going to anymore.
It gets too repetitive and
Like if you don't
I
realize that I told you so, then you're not worth my time anymore.
yeah, no, I agree because it gets way too repetitive and I hate the repetitiveness of having to be like, "Told you so. Told you so. Oh, I also told you so."
Yeah. And then like it also gets repetitive because it's like you keep seeing people doing the same things over and over and over and over and over and over, expecting a different result that is pure insanity. And I'm like, okay, so you don't want negativity coming towards you, but you're perfectly okay giving it out for any and every reason. Now, like I'm not against curses or hexes. I'm not. But they have very rigid rules of when it is appropriate to use. Like you don't just run into a diner and use massive amounts of force when ordering your food. You're not going
Mhm.
to sit there and smash something every time that you're going and ordering a new item on your plate. So why are you approaching the universe that way? Like they stomp into the ethereal and then they splash about stomping their feet, kicking them and rolling around like children having a tantrum because magic's supposed to make everything better. Whoever the fuck told them that.
This whole thing that happened yesterday has, from what I noticed and what I feel, and because I took no part in it, I said no.
Mhm.
I took my better judgment and said no. I'm not going to take any part in this. I'm
I
sorry
remember
to.
I was there when you came to that conclusion. I was very, very proud of you at that moment.
But today, when I woke up and I walked outside to go get my mail, it felt like I was just walking through a foot deep of toxic sludge.
Hmm.
And I did not like that feeling because I never get that feeling when I was walking outside. Like, it had no effect on me, but I just could feel that ominous crap in the air, and it just
It's
was
sort of icky.
not. It was not okay. I did not like it.
Yeah, so you know that phrase, you gotta fight fire with fire,
Mhm.
right? That phrase is egregiously overused. Okay. If you want to create positive, happy things in the world, then you are going to have to create those positive, happy things in the world. And that does not happen if you are compiling together as much negative energy and anger as you possibly can to send towards specific people you don't like. Now, if you want to eliminate negativity in the world, then yes, that is certainly one way to go about it. It's big, it's violent, it's crashy, but it might work. Never has before, but it might. Like it's possible. I suppose you could be the first person in history to eliminate negativity by using negativity, but somehow I doubt. somehow I think what that's going to do is it's going to hurt the person it's aimed towards. It's going to hurt the other people that are attached to that person, because when someone is hurting, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And so then that's going to cause more hurt, and it's all going to compound on itself. And they're not realizing that they're knocking over a domino effect. Hurt causes hurt, causes hurt, causes hurt. And so if you're reaching out and resisting these negative things that are happening in society, no matter how well meaning, if you are resisting them with violent force, the only thing you are going to create is an equal opposite response of violent force.
Mhm.
Then you get the clash. Now, if you're going one-on-one against another witch and you want to stop their curse, the best thing to do is to meet it with another curse. But when it's large amounts and there's a bunch of collateral damage, and that's not collateral damage you can keep track of because you don't know every family member or friend or loved one that this person are close to, what exactly is that going to do? You can't raise the vibration of a planet by lowering your own vibration. Things don't work that way. All they've done is they've sent out more negative energy to spiral around this planet and bring us down. And it's entirely counterproductive. The only way we're going to be able to change this is by example. Force will not be necessary, nor would it do any good.
Mhm.
That's just fact. So the people who were doing the protection spells for the police officers and the rioters, or the not rioters, the peaceful protesters, to be safe from the rioters, that would be, in my mind, an appropriate use of magic.
I absolutely agree with that.
But what they're doing, trying to curse those people that they believe have wronged, in some way, and before they haven't even stood in a courtroom. They've not stood with a jury of their peers. And I'll tell you what, my mother-in-law pointed out something really, really interesting, kind of a interesting concept here. If the court of public opinion has already been decided, and it would be impossible to try them with an unbiased jury, those cops' lawyers are going to plead a mistrial, and they're going to get off, because our laws in this country try to prevent that sort of thing from happening. Because if you're getting persecuted by a biased jury, well, I mean, so if you make the jury biased by making the majority of the public biased, in
Mhm.
one way or the other, they'll have to call a mistrial. And it is terribly unfortunate, but it's true. If they don't stop, if they don't fall silent, not necessarily stop entirely, but still themselves,
Mhm.
in preparation for the longer, this is a marathon. It is not a 100-mile dash. And they need to pace themselves, because if they don't right now, they're going to end up destroying everything that they've been working for. And
Yeah.
then all of the people that have been hurt and killed in this will have been for nothing
Mhm.
in all of this. From the
Yeah.
beginning, middle to end, it will have all been for nothing. And I think it's disappointing. I think I'm horribly disappointed in this next generation of witches, the vast majority of which have decided that they're going to pretty much just toss any chance they have
And
at furthering their magical practice.
just to say, it's not just the baby witches. Like, the baby witches don't know exactly what the hell they're doing.
No, that's baby witches. That's a generation that is not yet fully congealed and compiled.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the intermediates and the masters
Yeah.
like me, who know what the fuck they're doing, who know what they're not supposed to be doing, who look at these baby witches and say, "Hey, I hate this guy. Let's all curse him together," and rope all those little children in with them. I don't care if you're 50 years old. If you've only been casting for like a year and you've only been practicing for like 3 years, I'm sorry, you are not ready to be taking part in that. And you
Yeah.
need to be really careful with who you match your energy with, who you pray with, what you give your energy to, because the ultimate consequences of that big bomb going off. If you think a single curse backfiring is bad, oh, wait until you see the shit that happens after all of this. If we didn't think that there was going to be another round of coronavirus that was going to be just as bad, if not worse than this has been, it damn well fucking solidified that as a possibility, didn't it?
Yeah, it
And
did.
just
Come
And
fall,
I-
as soon as the weather cools, boom,
I learned this
hundreds of thousands dead.
before any of this started.
Hmm.
I had a good ass fucking mentor for that.
Mhm.
So one thing, the background in your video, Sunflower, be careful about having it because YouTube might copyright me for it.
Yeah.
It's better to just have your wall as your background
Yeah.
instead of that background.
I think she needs to figure out how to.
I don't know what
to
to
do that.
do.
So on your video settings, you're gonna click on video settings on your phone, and then you're gonna go to where it says background photos. Background. You're gonna go ahead and choose none.
None
None.
on the meeting settings, or which one?
Hold on, let me see your phone.
Ooh. Geez, I don't know what I'm doing.
Hold on.
Oh, that
I'll
feels-
show you because have phone in hand.
Okay. Let me go
So
to the video.
you see how there's a more's option here? And you see how there's a more option, the three dots? The three dots that
Oh,
says
yeah.
more. You click on that and you see where it says virtual background? You're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
click on that. And then you're going to see where it says the option of none. You're going to make sure
Okay.
you click on none. And then there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey,
Booyah. But no, I just think that it was incredibly foolish. I think that it was immature and childish. I think that a great deal of supposedly adept witches have gotten way the fuck up into their ego and are trying to use a lot of just like
one of the things that I've learned as a witchling going into intermediate, very quickly as well, besides not doing hexing and stuff, is that you have to have some sort of emotional control. You have to develop that
Mhm.
because it's like driving a car. If you're super emotional, you're distracted driving.
or
And
firing a firing weapon.
yeah, it's a 3,000-pound
This is also a really
metal-
good lesson to talk about, especially because Sunflower's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Sunflower is a baby witch, barely
Yes.
starting her journey. And
Congratulations.
Copper's more in the intermediates, but she's talking from
Yeah.
her baby witch experience. This is
Yeah.
something that's really good advice for you to learn, and this is also good for any other baby witches that are watching. The emotions that she was talking about, having that control with the emotions when you're doing anything that's casting or doing anything that's magical related, having control of your emotions for that situation is really good because your energy is now producing properly.
I would like to just one of the best ways that I've ever been able to actually get this lesson across is to ask, what truly is freedom? Is freedom having endless amounts of choices that you could choose from? No, most definitely not, because we all have endless amounts of choices. But do we make those choices? No, we don't. We don't make those choices. Even if it would be good for us, most of us would rather procrastinate. True freedom, true control of anything, true power in any form is having control over you, yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, the way that you hold yourself, the way that you present yourself to the universe, and the effect that you have on the universe ultimately comes down to your control of you. Because no amount of magic is going to be able to change your life if you cannot make the decision to change it yourself in the mundane ways and stick to that. If you can make yourself get up at 4 a.m. and do yoga, not because you want to be up at 4 a.m. and do yoga, but you want the benefit that you get from having gotten up at 4 a.m. to do yoga, even if you take a nap after. Like being able to force yourself, putting yourself through endless sorts of stressors and tests to give yourself a trial of your will. Make yourself do something that is exceedingly difficult, that you may even think borders on the impossible. The moment you accomplish it, you will never doubt your own power again. And you will
And
then be free.
this is a
That is true
general life,
freedom, and that is the only way you will ever be able to fully control magic.
and this is a good general rule of thumb when living outside of magic. Because the moment you say, I'm going to do this, and you have the discipline to do it,
Yeah.
you find out that those who are saying that you can't do it, or
Mhm.
calling you names because you are doing it, et cetera, are the people who are projecting their insecurities
They're
and
failures.
onto you.
They thought, I can do this. Then they listened to people who said that they couldn't. They convinced themselves that that was true, and now are holding you in contempt for not being where they are and how they had it. Yes, it happens actually quite often. Most of the doubters are people who've attempted it themselves and didn't manage it. It's always impossible until someone pulls it off.
Mhm.
But the fact of the matter is that true power comes through your own control of yourself, your emotions, the way that you decide you're going to react to input. You can't guarantee with the co-creation that exists in the manifestation principles. And the fact that every other person you're connected to, their energy is affecting your own and bouncing off of your own and causing and creating this reality we all share. You have to acknowledge then that though you are the same, you're also on this plane of existence separate. And you cannot guarantee that you're not going to be in some way affected by something that someone else does. You can't choose how that happens, but you can choose how you handle it.
Mhm.
And if you can manage to keep yourself in a place of stillness for even 10 seconds after something that has made you angry or frustrated, if you can take yourself into that place of I exist and nothing else, and then you let that back go and come back into the situation with fresh eyes, I can guarantee 10 billion% of the time you are going to make a better decision than you would have 10 seconds previous.
Mhm.
But if you can't control yourself, you can't control magic. If you can't control your life in the mundane, you certainly cannot control your life in the magical. And when it comes to magic, I think the biggest lesson for any baby witches at all, the biggest lesson is always look for a mundane cause first and a lesson second. Don't expect everything in your life to be of magical cause. Don't expect everything in your life to be of karmic cause. Sometimes shit just happens and you get good karma from dealing with that unnecessary bad shit coming your way in an appropriate fashion, in a matter that has control. Because then what you do is you are neutralizing that negative energy coming forward. It no longer affects you once it hits your bubble. And since you no longer indulge that and you no longer send equal negativity back out, well, then the echo effect that happens and creates more negativity in your life doesn't happen. You may find those negative people drifting away from you as time goes on, but you're going to find much more pleasant individuals finding their way in. And that I can tell you from experience.
And the reason why I kind of slightly directed that towards you is because I know that sometimes, and I'm not going to get into details or anything, just relatively on the surface. I know sometimes you let your emotions control the situation you're in. And
Be hard if
I
there's not to.
mhm. And I wanted you to understand that portion so you can understand your emotions that you're allowing to
Yeah.
take you over.
Well, your emotions, it's natural.
Mhm.
When you're first born, you've gone through the veil of forgetting into this life. You don't realize, what, has happened all before. You are purely instinct until the place where you start making conscious choices on your own. So it's completely natural. That is the status quo of humanity, is being emotional and allowing their emotions to dictate their actions. What we're doing is we're transcending that, because
Mhm.
we, as beings with personal choice, then have the choice to be able to do that. And if we have the discipline to follow through with the actions we believe are necessary in order to make that no longer your reality, then you now have ultimate power of your life. Takes time to build up, takes time to build your own trust and faith in yourself to do that. but it comes with experience. And once you have realized it, it's one of the first lessons that you have to learn is self-control. You start to realize that through your own self-control, you gain a sort of magneticism that as you move, others move with you, other things, other beings, other people, they move and alter themselves around you. They conspire in your favor even, as much as it may not seem so sometimes. And you'll notice that as you dance, they start to follow. They go for your tempo instead of you turning for theirs. And so then you, just by existing in that space, but denying that reality and not allowing that to affect you and your reactions, you have then become the creator of the vibration instead of the absorber and handler of the vibration, as the vast majority of humanity is.
Yeah.
She got me in lecture mode.
And
And
I
she
think-
knew she did it too. Look at her face. Look at that face. She knew.
I mean-
you know. Anyway,
I think there's a book that covers this. If you want a good beginner's book, I would highly recommend The Witch's Shield by Christopher Pixat.
Mm-hmm. It's actually a really good read. So
I sold it.
when the stores open and we go to the stores to go get the books that we were talking
Yeah.
about, I'll make sure you pick up that one. It's a really good read. It's really good for you to read that and understand.
I should
But-
also make a list of books that I recommend as a witchling because I'm still building my
Ooh,
collection.
so my dear Sunflower, you're also gonna get to meet dear Copper over here because Copper's coming to visit me in about a week to 2 weeks.
I'm going to be coming down on the 14th.
So yeah,
Until the 20th.
you know it. We're gonna come visit you too. But
Team Ravenwood sleepover. I only wish I could be there because then maybe I could get high. Hopefully I'll have pot by then, and then I'll be able to get high with you guys. I still have a little itty bitty, not enough for it to matter.
and then
We'll
of
have to
course,
send you a care package.
and then of course, Copper gets to meet my brother here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, and Sunflower, this is Rogue Wolf. I will tell you his name later. But this is Rogue Wolf. He is one of my Kingster buddies.
Ah.
Did you say his name?
No, not right now.
No,
Do you have
did you say
word?
his name?
No,
And
he did
no,
not
she
yet. No. The whole different topic because one of the deities that wants to work with him played games with him last night trying to make him guess the name of the deity that wants to work with him. And we all know Aries. And so I couldn't say it. Dear Gray over here let it slip.
Of course he did. He's Edie's favorite.
Hold on, I'm gonna go grab my vodka in case he actually does say it.
Wait,
And
did I- Shit.
so Aries is he's deciding that he wants to go ahead and challenge Aries into playing a game with him, trying to get him to say Aries' name. So Aries is being very lighthearted about the situation,
Wow.
but you know, Aries is going to fuck his world up.
That doesn't bode well for you. When Aries is angry, then you know what to expect. When he gets playful, boy, you love.
And
I'm sorry, but there's a reason I don't work with Aries. There's a reason I always work with Apollo. Aries and I, we have a decent little like shindig going. Like we have a friendship, sure, but I'm not gonna work with him. It's too close to the same energy the rest of my family uses. And if you know anything about a hoarder house, you know I aspire to be nothing like them.
So the challenge is that is trying to get him to say Aries' name because he refuses to say his name. And his excuse is because he's not ready yet. But I've known him for a long time, and I know where he's at, and I know exactly he's ready, but he's just denying himself right now.
He is ready when he decides he is ready, whether you are ready or you are not. is entirely up to you. So if you say you are ready, it is true. If you say you are not ready, it is also true. And honestly, even if you aren't, if you try at it, you make yourself a lot more closer to ready. Reality of
So,
the fact is, most of the time,
um,
you don't even learn the lesson until after the test.
we got a comment from somebody who is called Wolfpack Entertainment, and they say barriers are a must for any witch. It is our first line of defense on any action,
Mm,
even in the mundane situation. And then says, "Good evening, witches."
good evening.
Nick,
And
I
then
just
they mentioned my mentor butts heads with Aries. Meanwhile, I'm just a small. I'm sorry, I messed things up. Small comedic.
okay. Well, I always try and emphasize to the baby witches, it is not required, nor is it even likely that you will be called to work with a deity. Everyone's all like, I have a deity, but I look at their energy and I'm like, bitch, you worship a deity. Like, let's get real here.
Yeah, the only
Um,
thing is that for a while there, Aries wouldn't stop bugging me to bug him. So I
No, like
completely
I get that, but like the exception to the rule or not, let's emphasize what is more likely to be the case, just for the sake of general application for baby witches. They should know that if they are contacted by a deity, they need to test that shit thoroughly, and they do not believe it until they have proven it to themselves. It's like this is a big thing.
how do you
Like,
know, like, calling you? Like, I
well,
constantly
so
smell sea, and I always come across seashells, even though I know where I put them in the living room. I find them in my room, and I get a whiff of this like oceany smell. Maybe like I'm near or something.
now, see, that could be a lot of things. That's actually, and I know immediately there are a lot of witches on Witch Talk that can be sitting there saying Poseidon, Poseidon, Poseidon. But no, there are a lot of ocean deities. There are a lot of ocean beings. You could be being contacted because you have some sort of connection with a nymph or a sea spirit. It could be one of the beings that lives in the sand. It could be one of those ones that roams the ocean. If it's in the ocean, it's going to have the ocean god's energy signature. The question is it all that signature, or is it something else too? Is it something more down to earth, something a bit more grounded? Um, it really just depends. But one of the best ways to find out um, is to use a pendulum. It's very, very simple. I don't know how familiar you are with pendulum work, but I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate it for those who don't know. You can use almost anything as long as it hangs freely, right? I prefer crystal or metal, right? And so then what you do is you basically just say, it's like, okay, so show me yes.
I usually use
Right? Show me
my wedding
no.
band, and I'll attach it to a chain, and I'll use that as my pendulum.
Right. So then you ask it, am I being contacted by a deity? Now, for me, this is naturally a yes, because I mean, I'm working with Apollo. Right? And then you ask is like, and you do this inside of a protected circle, basically. And you do a basic like yes or no 20 questions with the universe, you know,
Okay.
to figure out what's going on. Now, if you are being contacted by a deity, well, then your job is to look at the signs, and your job is to look at the signs anyway. And since it is ocean related, you would go with ocean beings. You'd be like, "Am I being contacted by a?" And then you just go down the list until you get a yes.
So there's
Am I
also
being contacted by a god? If that's a yes, then it's okay. Am I being contacted by this god?
there's also a way to do it with tarot cards too.
There is. I've never tried doing that one with tarot cards, though. I've always
Um,
used the pendulum because it's very straightforward. And most of the time, the younger witches want to know the most, and so that's easier for them to use to
so
clarify for themselves, yea or nay.
there's a yes or no option you can do with tarot, and it's usually a 3 card option, and it's where um if they're all upright, and this is the way that I was taught. If they're all upright, it's a yes.
Mhm.
If 2 of them are upright and then one of them is upside down, it's a possibility. If two of them are upside down and one of them is upright, that is maybe not. And then if they're all upside down, it's no.
Yeah,
Mm.
probably not.
I
I
do
remember
know
that.
if
I've never used it for that though.
Sunflower, if
Mm.
you and Cosmic want to, sometime like later on, like the week or this coming up weekend, we can do a crystal ball reading
Okay.
to get a more clear answer.
Yeah. And Gray does wonderful crystal ball readings. He's very accurate when it comes to it. He's done one on me and was very accurate when it came to my reading. So he would be a really good source to go ahead and do a crystal ball reading with.
And
Okay.
he gave me
Just
a
a
few
minute. I'm gonna
warnings
go ahead and
too.
turn. I'm gonna go ahead and go for just a minute. I'm gonna turn my camera and mic off.
Okay.
My husband just got home from work and it's about to get a bit loud.
Yeah, no problem.
I left my tarot cards in the car. But I found out that the sake cup I have is about the same amount in this
Shot glass?
shot glass. Yeah.
Yeah, sake cups are usually about the size of a shot.
So
So
if
Wolfpack,
you say his name, I will get drunk on live. 10 shots.
so Wolfpack said deities will spell their names if asked. A spirit will not. Should you want to get the heart of the matter? Uh, Stupid dyslexia, stop messing with me. Makes me want to flip everything backwards.
Oh gosh.
So people, if you understand, I have mirrors dyslexia, so I like to read things completely backwards. And I try not to, but it likes to do it to me.
Oh, commercial break. Kind of. I should have brought this up. Speaking of spirit boards and divination, or not spirit boards,
Hold on. I wasn't done with what they were saying yet. It was just I kept flipping the words, so I had to stop for a second.
ugh,
Least from what I've researched, you'll need a pendulum and a Ouija board.
Uh,
But you can get a pendulum board that actually has the letters on it. That is specifically for
pendulum.
witches and pendulum work, and it'll use the pendulum and spell it out, so you don't have to use a Ouija board. Because it is a pendulum board, because Copper makes pendulum board. I have one. Um, but she has a pendulum board. If she shows you, it has all the letters on it, and
Yep, I have
it's well protected against anything else besides deities and positive spirits.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so
it.
using something like that is well protected, and doing it that way is more protected than using a Ouija board.
So this is an example. This is my first one that I've ever made. It is specifically geared to things bonded to me or wanting to bond with me or something positive, not negative by any means. But this is an example of what she's talking about.
Yeah, you see
Oh,
how it has the letters all on the top, and then it has the numbers, then it has yes and no. Those are that pendulum board is well protected, and nothing evil can come through it. So
okay.
having one that is specifically like that is better to use than a Ouija board. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ouija boards are great, but I also don't want to be contacting some kind of demon.
Yeah, no, that part.
That's why I want a witch's board.
So if you want if anybody on this live stream wants to purchase one or get their hands on one of these, it's going to be custom.
Okay.
It is a $15 option on Patreon, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah, her Patreon is actually linked down in the bottom. But what is the name of your Patreon? So that way
So
people can find you.
So the Patreon is located at patreon.com/the Copper Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
For $1 a month, you can get access to the Team Ravenwood Discord, and then it will go up from there. For the $10 option, you will get a custom room that you will collect every month, and eventually you'll work up to a full room set.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that is the pendulum board, and then the $35 option will get you a witch box, a mystery witch box every month.
Yes, a mystery witch box, which is exciting because I've helped plan some of that, and that is awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, the same on my Patreon. The $1 option gets you access to the Team Ravenwood Discord, where you can get to talk to all of us one on one, and even in group discussions just like this, but without having to be on a live. And it's more, personal, and you already know this, Sunflower, because you're on the Discord. But this is for anybody else who's watching. So uh I have the $1 option. You can find my Patreon as patreon.com/Cosmic Nebula. $1 option gets you 3-card tarot reading once a month. Also gets you into the Discord, which is the place to be because we sit there and have fun conversations. There's a lot of inside jokes that we have, a lot of funny things that go on. We just don't always talk about witchy stuff, but we also talk about everything else, and it doesn't matter what religion or what background you come from. You are welcomed into the Discord regardless. So come,
That-
have some fun. But yeah, um, and it's funny because seeing Wolfpack there, this here, Rogue Wolf here, he is a pup, and I was his handler when we were in the kink community. I would handle him for some of the shows and stuff like that. Um, let's see. What are some of your thoughts and on of things that you liked about being a pup? Like, what what did it benefit you to be a pup?
Freedom.
Elaborate.
Like just letting go and it's hard for me to answer things on the spot. You know that. Like answering shit on the spot is not.
I know, but I love you dearly, but I get what you mean by the freedom. It's a way to release self expression in a way where you don't have to feel so judged and so kept in a cage, kind of. Yeah? Because when you're civilian at the time, you kind of hold everything in, but when you're a pup, you release everything. That's what I wanted. But I get what you mean. So, if you don't hear him often speaking, is because currently the mic that I would be using is not set up. And hopefully, the next time that I get him in here where he's sitting like this with me, I will have my actual boom mic set up. So that way, we don't have to go this back and forth where I turn off my mic, he turns on his. Because for some reason, my mic does not like to pick him up. That's also because he has a really deep, low voice. That is true. He's also just more of a listener instead of a speaker.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Would you be willing to do like a cleansing on the live? My dad just called like twice. I just declined his call. He's like, "Go
Um,
now."
not on a live. I won't do it on a live. I won't be
No.
showing anyone a cleansing on live. Um, the practices that I'll be showing on my Patreon, they're going to be very bare minimal. And what I have to do for your dad is extensive, and I do not want to be showing that on camera. I don't want somebody to go ahead and take what I do and then try and do it themselves and
Oh no,
then fuck something up and possibly give themselves some really bad karma. I don't want that.
I would be on them, but yeah, I get what you mean. What do I tell him? I don't know if he's gonna call it another fourth time. I just keep declining it so I don't get kicked off of the Zoom.
Okay, yeah, I can call you that. Now, tell me if I say it right, because knowing me, I will say it wrong. Is it Remus? I just want to make sure I get that right. Pup Remus. Because I'm horrible with names.
She's
And,
basically asking your
oh, no, not him. Wolfpack Entertainment.
oh.
Hmm.
I'm just making sure I say it right because I don't want to mess it up.
I'm like, what? What are you? We went from talking about Sunflower's dad to
Yeah, no, I'm okay. Then that's good. All right. I was looking at the comments, that's why. Because I'm paying attention here, but I'm also paying attention to the comments so that we can keep having that interaction from who's watching and all that stuff, because I love having that interaction.
Mhm.
So yeah, and that's perfect. I was hoping I got it right at some point, because knowing me, I mess up terrible names.
after this live stream. Do you think it's advisable to do a spell tonight, or just to keep it low again, like last night?
um
What? Did I miss something last night? Oh,
yesterday, we talked about it when we first came in, but yesterday they did a huge thing for the protesters and the cops,
oh,
and yeah, and it created a lot of shit that don't even want to get
Oh,
back into that topic.
oh. Okay, you can catch me up later on it because I did
Yeah,
see that the witch talk was talking about doing something on June 5th.
yeah, and that's exactly what they
that's
did
exactly what we
yesterday.
were talking about.
Yeah. Um at the moment, refrain, but maybe in a little while it might be okay, but at the moment it's to refrain. Because it still feels like I walk through toxic sludge walking outside.
Mm.
Like in my home, I don't feel the toxic sludge at all. But as soon as I step outside, it's like I step into a foot of toxic sludge.
Okay. I was just wondering because it's like it's been storming out here lately, and it's like the perfect to
We
me. It's
have
like the perfect kind of stuff.
we have
It's been
one brewing here too.
Yeah. That's what
Um,
felt felt really off today. The weather it felt
yeah,
off.
because we have a storm brewing here. There's storm clouds all through the sky today. So, um, like when I got the mail, it was just it. I was like, I don't want to go back outside. I was like, do I even want to stand outside in the light right now? No, no, I don't.
I'm probably going to have two different pen come or because this one is going to be my travel pendulum.
I like it.
It's actually custom. Another kind of advertisement. I got this at We Witches 3. They do custom pendulums
Mhm.
and custom orders. You can find them on Facebook, and you could give them a jingle, and they'll tell
Yeah.
you what they have, or or you ask them what you need, and they'll tell you
And
what
then
they have.
Pup Remus said, I swear a witch asked Thor to do some lightning. It was crackling around my house, mildly confused, me giving I never really worked with him at all. Um, just to say, there's so much activity from not only Thor but Zeus as well. And I will say this, they're not happy. They're not happy.
Especially when they're also gods of justice.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's why it was in my better judgment not to do any kind of spells yesterday, even though it was the wonderful strawberry full moon, which I really wanted to do underneath the full moon, but I
I didn't get
couldn't. I couldn't because it was just all this stuff was just going on, and I did not want to be a part of it or have my energy intermingle with it at all.
And you got my messages earlier on what happened with Alyssa, right? I mean, she can explain it better than I can, but
yeah, we talked about it earlier.
oh,
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting though. Yeah. But Pup Remus, if you have any questions for us, shoot away. We can answer almost anything that you put out there. So yeah. Don't be afraid to ask us questions. I like the questions.
She's a
It,
great
I
mentor.
will
By the
not.
way, I will add, Cosmic is a great mentor. I had
yeah,
some challenging day today, and honestly, whatever you did to the necklace I was wearing, the amethyst, oh my god, I dropped it. It really did help with Toxic X today. So my faith is in you.
I could definitely see that. Um
Hey guys, it hasn't exactly quieted down here, but it's a lot quieter than it was 2 seconds ago. Time for night night. Time for night night.
It's been
You want a
extremely
little
humid
bite of
here.
yummy before you go night night? Because you were so excited about it. Come here, sweetie.
Just to say, I live in California, and it's been extremely humid here. We don't usually get a lot of humid weather. We get a lot of dry heat. And in the area that I'm in, it's a combination of dry heat and humidity, but today has just been heavy humidity. And I was like, nope, my hair is gonna go floof. I'm not, nope.
Yeah, mommy.
So my hair is sleeked back, and that's why you see me wearing the bandana today, because my hair went poof.
It's a nummies, yeah.
But it's just been, it's been a day.
This girl is a true
Or
Taurus, you guys. She is moved only by food.
Oh, okay.
Like, for
and
real.
only to say this, as my husband would say it, he'd go, "It's been a day." Wait, no, it's been a week in a day. It's been a week in one day.
Like it.
Yeah, you just saw you on the screen, huh? Yes, mommy.
Hi,
Oh.
babies.
She about to go night night. And she eating little bites of mommy's nummy. You want the nummy drink? Yay, nummy drink. And then the cutest yay ever.
Oh.
She's too cute. See, she wanted to make herself known on the live stream, so she purposely came into mommy's lap and was like, "I'm gonna be here for the live stream."
Oh, you want more bites? Want a bite of this?
Yummy.
Yes, mommy. Did mommy make nummies? Mm-hmm. Hey. Don't knock that over.
She's just like, "Food, food. I see food. Give me stuff food.
Give me stuff.
I
Foods
want
make-
stuff food."
Night, mommy. Not quite yet.
He's also food motivated.
Mm. He is food motivated and cuddle motivated. You see this? You see this? This is her happy spot right now. Mommy is the ultimate source of nummies and cuddles.
Once
Aside from
he
daddy, of course.
once he gets full, he's a full on I'm gonna knock out.
He was like,
He'll lay on my couch after he's eaten. He'll just like pretend he's not sleeping and just staring at the TV, and then he'll just go.
Thing.
she eats most. She started eating solid food mostly off of my plates because she was breastfed, and so she sees mommy as the source of food, and it was the easiest way to get her to eat. Because if it's on mommy's plate, it's good. Mommy only has good stuff on her plate, only ever.
So there's a black cable on the bed. Grab that black cable and plug it into that.
I heard that wrong. I was like, why do you have black people on your bed and you haven't introduced people? Like they're there and you haven't introduced them? I heard it wrong. Totally wrong.
So
You friends? Yeah,
Pup Remus said Cheesy's foods will get his attention or get their attention. Then you would love my mac and cheese. My mac and cheese, if you take a scoop up and you lift it, all you see is strings of cheese coming down.
No, you're not gonna play. You're not gonna play. You're not gonna play.
It's like have a mac and cheese cook-off. I know how to make 2 different mac and cheese.
My mama.
Oh, I love my mac and cheese. My mac and cheese, what I do is I'll cook the noodles and stuff on the stove. I'll make the sauce in the pan while the noodles are cooking. Then I'll pour the noodles into a casserole pan. And once they're in there, I'll dump the liquid cheese on top, and then I'll take a whole block of cheddar cheese, grate it down, and I'll cover the complete top of it. And then I'll put breadcrumbs on top of that and put it in the oven and let that melt. And then scoop that bad boy out, and it's just a cheesy, ooey gooey mess.
When can I try this? This sounds good.
Hey, we can have a giant ass potluck if we wanted with Keon and Colette and Maggie and me and all that fun shit.
Oh heck yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
We will have tons and tons of food.
Here too.
Best potluck I ever went to was at a cannabis club. It was your guess. It was your best guess which part was medicated and which part wasn't really. Because after a while, it's just started getting moved around.
Oh my gosh.
It's like live dangerously.
I went to some of the biggest cannabis parties in Colorado.
Mom, looking.
It's like I like to live dangerously. Or I too like to live dangerously.
Yes, I too like to live dangerously. But no, I was a judge at the Connoisseurs Cup. I went to the Indo Expo, worked the Indo Expo, volunteered there too.
See, like I said, you get onto this Discord, we just talk about food and share recipes and everything. Like,
we talk about food, we talk about pot, we talk about our nerdy fun times.
Like me being an otaku.
My love of Dr. Stone, the anime Dr.
Oh
Stone.
my god,
Best.
Dr. Stone is absolutely amazing.
Right.
And then now I want to ask this question to everybody who feels like sharing. Where is everybody from? State.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
I'm originally from Houston, Texas, but I am in Jacksonville, Arkansas right now.
I am from San Bernardino, California.
Same, San Bernardino, California. He's from Riverside, California.
Ah, the bougie side. Okay, I see it. I see it.
More specifically, where you used to deliver all the time in Corona.
Ah, so the real bougie side. I see. Okay, all right.
And then I know Gray is from Alabama. Now, if anybody wants to answer this question as well in the comments, they can go right ahead.
Oh.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. So he says his whole kid life Corona, adult life Riverside.
That's ironic. Is I lived in Corona. What?
Oh.
Hey guys, I'll be right back, okay?
Corona.
I'm not gonna say that first part because for the life of me, I know I'm gonna mess it up. But New Mexico, we got somebody from New Mexico, which is Pup Remus. It's like
Albuquerque.
Nope, I can't even do it. Nope, not doing it.
Consequences.
Consequences?
What? That's
Truth?
literally the name
Or
of it.
consequences.
Truth.
New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Truth or consequences, New Mexico.
Me being my bad reader, here's the funny thing.
Yeah, it's consequences.
Here's the thing. My dyslexia likes to mess me up. I read at a professor level college reading, but for the life of me, when I'm sitting there reading something, my dyslexia decides to go, nope.
Look, it's mommy on Discord. Oh,
So
on Zoom. I mean, look.
I have a high caliber in reading, but I have to sit there and read the page twice to make sure that I didn't mess anything up.
Look, it's your mommy. She's on
Athena!
Zoom. Huh?
Sunflower is the one I gave Athena to. See?
Yeah, and that's Athena, and that's Athena.
Jay,
Wow.
That's okay. They know me as Athena on here too. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
getting
I,
jump started.
I freely talk about it because everyone here knows, and I also want to be an advocate for it. But I have DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. So if you hear them call me by a different name, they're calling me by the name they met me as, which for majority of people they met me as Athena, or they've met me as my birth name, which that is the only name I will not say on here. Or Emmy, or Cosmic. Cosmic is just the name of my system. We're called the Cosmic Nebula system. But I go by Cosmic because it's a lot easier for people to just call from my system because majority of the time they don't know who's fronting.
Oh, sorry, I went black for a bit.
So yeah.
I was gonna ask, and I forgot it. Yeah,
Was it about my disorder or something else?
it was something else.
Hey, you guys say night night to the baby.
Night night, babish.
Night
Good night,
night.
baby.
Night
Good night.
night.
Sending
She
all
said
the
night.
love.
Aw.
Sending all the love.
Much love.
Night night, babies.
Good night, Pop. Good night, Mamash.
Sending you all the loves.
Oh, she's so adorable.
Night night.
Night night. She's too cute. She's too cute.
My baby's on my happy place.
She has graced the live stream with cuteness.
She walks with such purpose right now. She's in that stage where she's like gonna move her arms very intentionally and wiggle her butt with equal intention. It's the cutest. And then she does that running where she's like half bouncing. I love this stage.
I'm like truly showing my awesomeness. My dyslexia is on high today. So it's really wanting to mess with me.
It happens to all of us.
I'm like sitting there looking at the words and I'm like, don't flip them, don't flip them, don't flip them, don't flip them,
Right.
don't change them, don't change them, don't change them, please stop.
Yep.
And then boom.
Like,
Everything.
And then it goes, nope, we're not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep messing with you
you can
all
get
over
some
the place.
really strange messages out of completely normal things if you start reading it backwards or sideways. I'm just saying, like,
Because the if you heard, I have Mirror's dyslexia. So
Mm.
when I was a kid, I didn't write the right way. I wrote backwards and you had to put it in a mirror to read it.
Mm.
That is the way I started writing. That is how I saw how to write. I didn't see writing the normal way. I saw writing the reversed way. Which my teachers did not understand why I was doing that until they realized, oh, she has dyslexia. Oh, we need to sit down and have more conversation with her to fix her. Copper,
Yeah, see,
what were you doing?
Cleaning my camera.
Oh, I heard the whole.
No, I was having like a oil induced aura. I'm like, I need to clean my camera.
I have to
just
do
your
that.
natural magnetism showing through, Copper. Don't worry about it.
I have to do that every time I record a TikTok. I have to make sure I sit there and clean the camera first because I know I probably touched it at one point.
Especially if you have makeups on your hands, like.
I hate when I have like concealer or foundation stuck on my fingers and then I touch my phone and I'm like, oh man.
Oh, my phone screen is broke now.
Oh no.
And I have no money to get any new phone or
How
anything else
the
yet.
heck did that happen?
It fell. honestly, I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has. It's been a year or so.
And I cracked my screen like in the corner of it within a like 1 to 2 weeks of actually getting my new phone.
Usually I have
cracked mine
screen
too.
covers, but they don't make screen covers for my phone anymore. Because it was new when I got it, but that's old as shit in phone years.
What
I
kind of phone
just-
is it?
Yeah, what kind of phone is it?
It's a LG Stylo 4.
Oh, okay.
We should
So-
look at the stores, Cosmic.
Really quick. I didn't notice until right now until I checked the random notifications I kept getting shot at my phone. Welcome Pup Remus to Discord.
Oh, welcome.
Hurrah!
If you want to, feel free to go ahead and hit that Zoom link that's in there and join us here if you want to.
Booyah!
Oh yes, we get to meet someone new.
Where did they come from?
I believe
They're a personal invite from Gray.
Okay.
He invited them onto the YouTube and he was engaging and
Wonderful. Fantastic. As long as we make sure he gets tagged.
Pup Remus is the
Agreed.
one that we've been talking to. That's the Wolfpack Entertainment.
Mm,
That's who Pup Remus is.
very cool. As long as they get their badge, that's all I care about. I want everyone to have their proper badges that they've earned or other such things.
Hey, well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of your guys' live. I gotta go check up on my mom. She got surgery last week, so I gotta go make sure she's okay.
Yeah, that's no problem, love. Go ahead.
Yep.
I will talk to you when you are done on your live. Thank you everyone for having me.
Yeah,
It was
just
good seeing you, hun.
just text me.
I will. I have so much to tell you.
Yes, and I
Cool.
need to know.
Yes. Hi. Bye everyone. Good night.
Good night.
So, just to leave it here, we're gonna go ahead and end this live stream.
Okay.
We have successfully gone through 1 hour.
Oh wow, that's twice what we usually. Let's get this cut off before it's
So, to all of you random weirdos that tuned in today and enjoyed the live stream, thank you for coming. I greatly appreciate it. I know everybody else here appreciate it. I love the interaction that we had, and it's been wonderful. I will say this: much love, peace out, live life to the fullest. Don't let anyone tear you down, and let's keep flowing.